Hey there everybody, it is me again, BUG. We're doing a little more Endless Sky today. Let's see what we got. Spaceport. Alright, let's go visit then. Everybody has at least one ram scoop, so we're good. Alright. So what am I supposed to do? What is to several of the nearby planets? I got land on them, it looks like. Korath visible tops of a few dozen of the tallest buildings. Everything else has been buried by sandstorms. Due to a recent shift in climate, the desert begins shrinking once more, with local vegetation growing to cover more and more land each year, but the Korath are no longer here to benefit from the change. Most concerned about the empty Korath cities on this planet is how pristine they are. No sign of bombing or weapons fire. Either everyone who lived here chose to leave, or they were killed by a weapon that did no damage to the buildings they live in. Outside the cities, plant and animal life has begun to flourish, and some of the smaller villages have already been swallowed up by the growing forests. The climate is temperate, and the rainfall is plentiful. Aside from the reduction in biodiversity, it will not take this planet long to forget its former owners. You have no idea what happened to this planet, and you're not sure what you want to know. The atmosphere is unusually hot and wet for a planet this distance from its sun. The ocean levels seem to have dropped significantly in the recent past. There are barnacles and beached coral exposed to the air all around their shorelines. The wind is frenzied and full of wild energy, and the fog moves like a living creature. Everybody's here. Factory world is so shrouded in smog that only tiny glimpses of the land are visible from above. Deep under the oceans of Lockheed Neparatu are oil reservoirs so vast centuries of industry have not yet drained them dry. All but the hardiest of the native vegetation and wildlife is now long extinct from the lack of direct sunlight or from pollution and chemical exposure. No jobs. Something just attacked me. Oh, it's a giant moth. After the recent call of the Korath have built this minimal Spartan command center that can install and capture a robotic ship to allow pilots to override the AI to face the ship's controls. The command center only provides a single bunk for the captain, so more may be necessary if the ship has turrets or other systems that require crew. Interesting. Excellent. Korath. Cormoretti. Alright, let's do it. Planet appears to have suffered irradiation when the neighboring star of Pedresi went nova. Local flora and fauna are alive, but still struggling to recover from the loss. Several large Korath cities remain. It seems that they were not able or not willing to evacuate the entire population in time to escape the nova's gamma radiation. Sun-bleached bones are scattered in the streets of the largest cities. Korath were endlessly creative in devising new weapons of war during the twilight years of their empire, but what destroyed this planet in the end was not a military disaster but an ecological one. Small villages along the ocean shores and rusting fleets of boats bear witness to the fact that this ocean world was once a fruitful fishery, but now the ocean carries high levels of industrial toxins, and in place of large fish, only small invertebrates remain. A hideously powerful weapon tore scars on this planet's surface so deep that the molten rock of the mantle bled out through them. Presumably these wounds were inflicted on the planet by yet another Korath superweapon devised in the final years of their civil war. Few ruined cities remain, some of which were sliced into by the trail of weapon fire. Not my full compliment, right? How can you tell? When you land, a wanderer named Tema'a Ikret meets you and identifies herself as the head of the terraforming team. She's excited to see your data on the nearby planets. For each of the worlds, she says, we must decide what treatment/strategy will best enable it to flourish once more. Even if a world is near to the territory/domain of the dangerous/hostile robots, we may be able to begin its healing/transformation from a distance. Surprise your species so eager to start terraforming. I think the threat from the Korath automata would be your first priority. Did I miss that part somehow? Anyway, I can help with terraforming. She says, healing/renewing worlds is something we love doing. Fighting is not something we love, so unless the robots become more aggressive/threatening, we prefer not to seek out conflict. In the meantime, it would be intriguing/exciting for us to take measurements on the planets they control. Could you do that for us? I'd be glad to do that. Excellent, she says. I'll collect the data from you when you are done. When you report to the Wanderer leaders, they have several other requests for you. A cosmologist named Eruk Ishti is interested in scanner data on 3 supernova remnants near Korath space, and Subari Telek wants you to collect more data on the automata. If we know how they function, he says, we may be able to make peace/befriend them. Perhaps you could board/salvage the disabled drone of each faction and bring us whichever parts/components control its decision-making/intelligence. I'll be glad to do that. A meeting. All this test performed the Wanderers. You hope they appreciate the assistance you're giving them. Sell all. Cormorant robots seem to prefer to build their factories and refineries in space rather than on planets, harvesting their raw materials from asteroids so they don't have to deal with gravity or atmosphere or rain or sandstorms. They have left this desert world unoccupied. The deserts are home to an unusual number of plant species which have adapted to survive the occasional catastrophic flash floods. Now that the Korath are gone, the oceans on the planet begin to teem with fish and other living creatures once again, and the levels of dissolved oxygen and carbon dioxide slowly swinging back into balance. Species of algae and bacteria that are able to metabolize the plastics and chemicals that the Korath left behind have spread throughout the oceans. Cities on the world hit by an astonishing variety of weapons. Some were leveled by massive explosion, while others show signs of strafing by low-flying ships or of orbital bombardment. Outside the cities, the land is fruitful and varied. Forests, mountains, oceans, deserts, and tundra. Everything on the planet that's made of metal is overgrown with a thick layer of reddish lichen or fungus. In the cities, the tallest buildings look like they've been melted or half digested by the fungus. Tall towers lean at crazy angles, and smaller buildings are entirely buried in indistinct. Ooh. Their smell is like sauerkraut and roses. Alright. The voice says the system is off limits, you should leave. After a second, you realize that the voice did not come from your communications equipment. In fact, now that you think about it, you're not sure if it was an audible voice or just something in your head. Why should I leave? You feel as if a vast and patient creature has just heaved an immense sigh. Human, you would do well not to ignore the warning of an Archon. I'm here to warn off those who might be harmed by the swarm of intelligence that infests the system. If you remain here long, your ship will be digested by the swarm. You recall that Archon is what Drac ships are called. What do you mean, digested? What is a swarm intelligence? Self-replicating miniature robots, the voice replies, a weapon created by the Korath, the last of their great abominations. If you wish to feed your ship to the swarm, I will not stop you, but they already possess enough raw material here without your resistance. The voice's tone, in as much as a disembodied imaginary voice can be said to have a tone, is sardonic. Wait, I have more questions. Yes, you ask, why don't you just destroy this realm if it's so dangerous? The voice says, because if the Korath manage to drive themselves extinct, this intelligence will be their last and greatest surviving creation, and we will preserve it as a living memorial to them. Please do not interfere here. When the voice speaks the phrase, drive themselves extinct, the words are accompanied by an emotion that you cannot put a name to. Also, the empty space around your ship is beginning to light up with small sparks, like an angry swarm of fireflies. Well, it's an honor to meet you. I'll be leaving now. Why do you care if they go extinct? Our directive is to enforce peace and to prevent extinction, says the voice. As before, the words prevent extinction echo loud in your mind as if underlined by nameless emotion. Now, enough questions, says the voice. The presence in your head seems to fall away, and you're left talking to thin air. Alrighty. refuel completely while we're here. Substantially, the waters asked for on the system's sun. Oh, that's the drag ship. contact the cosmologist Eric Ishti and give him a copy of your ship's scans of the supernova's remnants. To you, the scan results are inscrutable, but clearly to him they tell a story, and not one he's happy with. His body shakes violently, and the pupils of his eyes shrink to pinpoints as he looks at the data. These stars died an untimely/unnatural death, he says. I wonder what the role of these Archon beings/entities was. Is the destabilization/destruction of these stars a crime the Korath committed, for which the Archons punished them, or did the Korath commit some other crime and the Archons rip/tore these stars apart as punishment? Species encountered Archons before. So one of the Archons visited/appeared at this world when we first settled here. It promised terrible retribution/punishment if we harmed either faction/remnant of Korath survivors, and warned us of the hostile/uncontrolled robot drones. I have no doubt that they could destroy/rend open a star. They are beings not entirely contained within this universe/extending into hidden dimensions, but the Archon who spoke/communicated/interacted with us did not seem malicious/violent. The Quark said the Drac are interested in keeping peace in the galaxy. He says, even if that is so, enforcing/maintaining peace must sometimes require the use of force/violence. Also, have the Korg explained/revealed to you who the Drac are? Are the Archons the Drac, or were they constructed, created/birthed by the Drac? The Archons do not appear to be a naturally evolved species. He sits silently for a minute and then says, the Archon that spoke with us said, I am an Archon. It did not say I am a Drac. Have you ever spoken/communed with an Archon? Did it call/name itself a Drac? I don't think so. Interesting, he says. He promises to share any further information he obtains with you, and you thank him for his time. You present your planetary measurements to Thematic Rect, the terraforming director. He's very excited about the data. So many worlds, he says, each with their own personalities/idiosyncrasies. We'll learn more about each one and discover how we can partner/collaborate with them to help them recover/be reborn. She tells you that for now they do not need any more scanning data, but she will let you know if new needs arise in the future. Let's see. Let's try it with just this one ship. So when you get the core sister space, core Moretti space. This is core Moretti and this is core sister. Okay. supposed to take it? Board one of the Korath drones. Fire with the command's control assassin bring back. Hey Spiros, how's it going, man? Sorry I didn't see you there. Got wrapped up in this fight. Lycor, how's it going, man? Oh man, these wander missions are complicated. I'm not good at this capturing ships, or better yet, capturing particular ships. What was that? That was a Corsestor. A team of wanderer scientists examines the control transceiver that you salvaged from Corsestor drone. It is a remote control, they tell you. Very little computing power / autonomy. The ship receives commands / directives from some other source and sends back information on its own. Status / observations. Notice the science use an entangled particle untraceable, impossible to interrupt/interfere with it, and it could operate/communicate over any distance. But if we could locate the control center, we would be able to take over/hijack all the drones simultaneously. What would the control center look like, you ask? It could be anything such as a massive computer, maybe an artificial mind, maybe an underground bunker/habitation where aging war captains/generals hide out in order to direct their pointless/futile war. But whatever it is a single point/focus of vulnerability which we may use to our advantage. I need the same for the Korath drones. up here. Alright, let's wait for the Korath to attack. See how that works. the reason you know that you recovered from a Korath drone to the team of Wanderer scientists. A few hours later, they report back to you. This is a very robust/redundant design, says the lead scientist. Each of these nodes has enough processing power and intelligence to control one of the drones. They are also linked/interconnected by a hyperspace network, so all the drones communicate/confer with each other and are capable of making strategic decisions as a collective. Piersnot says, given the number of drones and the complexity and sophistication of the computing equipment, the collective is intelligent as any artificial mind that my own species has ever constructed. He tells you the scientists will continue to examine the reasoning and see if they can identify any weaknesses to exploit, but he does not sound hopeful, which is too bad because the Korath are a much more immediate threat to the Wanderers than the Korath door. While you're still walking back to your ship from the latest meeting, alarm signs begin sounding. You see many Wanderers leaping to the air and flying quickly towards the spaceport where ships are quickly beginning to take off. Interestingly, a Wanderer alarm sign sounds more like a quacking duck than the shrieking or droning sounds commonly used as alarm by humans. It would appear that the base is under attack. You return as quickly as possible to your ship and prepare to join the other defenders. When you enter the meeting room, Sobari Telek is in a heated argument with the Wanderer child who was here earlier, who speaks your language. The child is saying, the Eye has sent us not to a place of empty, abandoned worlds, but to a place of living beings. To complete our calling's work here, we must collaborate with those beings, just as we would collaborate with the ecosystem/personality of a planet we sought to repair. What do you propose/intend, Firstborn asks Telek. I would visit the remaining survivors in Korath, she says. I would learn their language/viewpoint/history. I would offer them our companionship/assistance. No, says Telek, how could I endanger/gamble with your life? You are too precious/unique to be sent on such a mission/assignment. You cannot command me, she says. Until you are fully formed/complete, I can, he says. The Wanderer child draws herself up to a full height, which admittedly is still not terribly impressive, and says quietly, I name myself. Instantly, all other conversation in the room stops based on what Iktat Rek told you. A Wanderer child becomes an adult the moment she chooses a role name for herself. I name myself Communicator/Ambassador/Bridge Builder, she says. Captain G will take me to live with/join the peaceful Korath. To your surprise, Telek agrees to let her go after giving her one last warning to be careful. She walks/flutter hops to your heels as you return to your ship. Apparently she has no need of any luggage. She cocks her quickly at you. You do not know who I am, she says. Now that you are out of the meeting, she is once more speaking to you in your own language. No, I don't, you say. After all our work together, you do not recognize me, she asks. I am Ektasi Rek-Erek. Takes you a moment to realize that she's not claiming to be Rek's daughter, she's claiming to be Rek who came from Rek. She is Wreck himself, or apparently now herself. Alien biology is full of surprises. She says, things got a bit chaotic when the eye opened. You're not sure if that's the full truth, or if Wreck was just enjoying playing a trick on you and waiting to see how long it would take to catch on. Wreck has no trouble finding the bunk rooms and cheerfully settles in while you prepare for the journey to Setar Fort. Let's take some stuff. 65. Right. Spaceport, job board. Soon after you and Ektasi Rek land on the Korath spaceport, a small group of Korath gathers around you. No doubt they realize that Rek is one of the new aliens settling their former territory. But when Rek begins trying to communicate with them, their desire to be understood overcomes whatever hostility they might be feeling. Within a few minutes, Rek is playing a sort of game with them where she points at different objects trying to learn their names, and then uses those names in sentences. This is a table. Rek is on the table. Rek stands on the table. The table is under Rek. The color of the table is black. The color of the table is the same as the color of Rek. The Korath wave their hands approvingly when Rek says something that they agree with, and hiss when she makes a grammatical mistake. The new words and new parts of speech are coming too fast for you to catch more than the general gist of what's going on, but Rek is drinking it all in. She looks so happy and full of life, it's hard to believe that she's the same person you said goodbye to in the medical center months ago. After about an hour, Rek says something to the group of Korath and walks over to you. You look like you're making amazing progress. She seems very pleased with herself. I think the malt has given me mental plasticity of a child again, she says. It's almost as easy as breathing, but it will take me a while before I understand the subtleties of their language well enough to communicate anything of great importance. It's a bit disconcerting that her vocal organs are somehow able to perfectly reproduce both the sibilant Korath language and your own human language, in addition to the glottal and percussive sound of Wanderer's speech. And the high language as well, for that matter. So you ask, what should I do while you're here learning language? He says, I'm worried about the Cormorant making another attack on my people. Do you think the Korg would be willing to protect us? You agree that it's worth a try. She suggests that you visit the Korg ring world and try to find someone with authority sent defense fleet to guard the Wanderer settlement. Over here. Didn't even know that was a thing. Used to be armor. In your past swims, you've never seen the Korg move with anything approaching haste or excitement. But when you land on the station, a group of them run up to you, moving faster than they thought they were able to. For a minute or two, they just gawk at you and talk amongst themselves in their own language. I think you think you recognize words Humani and perhaps Eartha. Finally, a Korg appears who speaks your language and at least is willing to try. He says, "Welcome, astonishing sojourner. Whither came you, and wherefore visit you us here in the unquiet graveyard or the Korathi?" Here to explore, can you tell me more about the Korath? Ah, the unwise Korath, it says, once a mighty empire, now sadly splintered and diminished. Their own thinking war machines, now breeding with abandon and inimical to all, hunt the survivors. And some of them, too, were exiled for their great crimes. Of that we will not speak, lest we awaken in you the desire to follow in their footsteps, but you may observe the records of their abominations and take warning. Mention the thinking war machines, what are those? Robotic starships and autonomous factories to create them, though now directed by no living being, yet they reproduce and wage senseless war against each other. Where their ships, if you wander north and east of here, they wield diverse weapons and strange, and we can bring you no succor within the born of their space. You are interrupted as one of the Korath who inhabit this ring world walks by, and the Korg says, "Friend Korath, meet the human." Buji, you say, holding out a hand automatically. The Korath does not shake your hand, but instead greets you by holding up both hands, palms towards you, says something in its own language, and hurries away. The Korg says to you, "One faction among the Korath desired peace, Korath of Freddy. They named themselves, which means Korath friends. They are under our protection and intend you no harm. But they have not your language. Here humans are rare. Have you another question?" Well, the friendly Korath of me. There's such a threat. Visit the world, says the Korg. Though they learn not your words, you are clever and may speak as one without words does by pointing at things. You think it's for a time, and the crowd of Korg that has been gawking at you slowly disperses. Korg generally do not share information on how their leadership hierarchy works, if such hierarchy even exists. So your best bet to help find the warrant is just ask around until you find the right person. You flag down the first Korg who passes you in the hallway. "How can I help you?" human says. "Well, you say, I'm on your behalf of the species that has recently settled on one of the abandoned Korath worlds. I'm hoping you can help protect them." It says, "Yes, we are aware that you are a friend of the Wanderers, who are friends of the insufferable Pug. But why should we assist them?" "Wanderers know how to repair planetarics. They can make the war Korath worlds livable again. Wanderers maybe help you deal with hostile automata. They're also able to make Korath worthy of inhabiting those planets again. Are they able to make the Korath wise enough not to ruin their homes once more, or do the abilities of the extragalactic interlopers not extend so far?" When you don't respond, the Korg continues, "These wanderers are not indigenous to our galaxy, and thus we have no obligation to prevent their extinction. The Korath are our charge and our responsibility, so tell me, why is it a good thing for the Korath that these aliens are invading their territory?" "The Wanderers could help the Korath by teaching them to take care of the worlds better. The Wanderers don't want to stay here forever. They'll move on once the worlds are repaired." Korg blinks slowly, with its strange eyelids moving from side to side rather than top to bottom. Then it says, "We will give you 3 warships to travel with you back to the settlement of these friends of the loathsome Pug. They will keep the drones at bay, and they will keep watch on the Wanderers and judge if they are benevolent as you say. It is extremely strange that the first random Korg you accosted in the hallway happened to be one of the Authority-launched field of warships, but it would be impolite to question such a generous offer. You thank the Korg and return to your ship. Hopefully the Wanderers will be glad for the protection and will not object to having a Korg fleet overhead scrutinizing their actions." I think that's going to be it for arrive at the Wanderer settlement with 3 Quark warships in tow. You are met with a mix of gratitude and apprehension. The senior leads us up meeting with you immediately. You explain how you dropped off wreck in the Korath space and visited the Quark task force. Telek asks you these Quarks, what are their intentions/inclinations towards us? And do they understand that we seek to heal/renew these worlds, not to steal from them from the Korath? Quark avoid conflict is absolutely necessary. If you show that you are peaceful, they will come to trust you. Quark, we're worried that you're going to displace the surrounding Korath. Quark don't trust you because you're connected to the Pug. They also say that you're not native to this galaxy. Says that's reasonable such understandable sentiment, but when they learn such observe our goal is to make these worlds flourish/be fruitful once more. I hope that we will win/earn their trust. Besides, says Ikred, the terraforming director, we'll only be in this region space territory for a short time, no more than 10 or 20,000 years. So I don't see/understand why they're so concerned/defensive. Still, says Telek, many among us wish that the wreck had not sent/instructed you to visit the Korg. The keepers of the eye kept the high at bay, held back. Surely they could also help us defeat/remove these hostile robots. Surely they sent us here for the healing/reconstruction of the worlds and not to lose our lives fighting an implacable/remorseless foe. Maybe worth a try. The Pug are full of surprise. They may have technology that will let them defeat the Automata easily. Getting caught in the crossfire between 2 automation factions is a bad one. Getting caught in the fight in the middle of the war between the Pug and the Quark even worse. They both want what is optimal/productive for this region, says Telek. Perhaps fighting alongside a common enemy would allow the Pug and the Quark to reconcile/make peace with each other. After some discussion, leaders agree that they are more comfortable going to the Pug for help than solely trusting on the goodwill of the Quark. They ask to travel back to the wormhole and visit the Pug world there to see if they're willing to help. So, jump board. Alright. Alright, let's see. Over here. No. Nope. Alright. 236. When you step off your ship, you're surrounded by a group of armed Pug. Perhaps we not communicate clearly enough for the human small brain to comprehend it, says one of them, but we are uninterested in any further interactions with the human. So I'm here on behalf of the... Why are you so hostile towards me? We're not hostile, says another, but our project is wanderers, not humans. You have your own Pug and may bother them as you wish if they will permit it. Not different factions, one Pug, just a different team working on a different project. They are the ones whose job is to understand and deal with humans, not us, thankfully. Putting human space to the left now so that nobody will bother them anymore. Of Of course they have, says one of the pug in a tone the voice suggests that you're extremely foolish to think that the pug are done meddling in human affairs. You explain to the pug that you are here on behalf of the Wanderers, and that the region of space the island into is infested by dangerous robotic automata. They respond, it's also infested by pitiable archons and their pet Korg, with whom they are not exactly on speaking terms. Another of the pug adds, to be slightly more precise, we are in fact on blowing each other up terms with them. Why do the Archons hate you? We had a disagreement recently, says one of the pug. We were right. The Archons were wrong. They're still sulking. Talk with them a while longer, but you're unable to gain any more information to convince them that to come to the aid of the Wanderers who are in Korath space. You'll have to report to Savari Telek that the Korg fleet is the only outside aid they're likely to receive. Okay. And sell all. Three goods. Job board. Savari Telek meets with you soon after returning. Tell him that the pug refused to help defend the Wanderers in Korath space because of the presence of the Korg and the Archons. Then we must find our own path solution, he says. Come, I have a team of scientists / engineers who wish to meet with you. He leads you to a different facility where a team of Wanderers are gathered around a table with disassembled components of reasoning nodes spread out across it. The lead scientist introduces you to her team and says, we believe we have found a way to intercept / listen in on the network traffic / communications of the automata that use these devices / systems. We need someone to travel to a star system where their conflict / warfare is fiercest and make a recording / observation of their communications. Can you perform this task / quest? Glad to do that. Scientists begin work on install new equipment on your ship. As they do so, Telek tells you, we hope to collect further information / intelligence on the combat capabilities and tactics / decision making of the drones. If their network communications are not vulnerable, we must instead find a way to defeat them in battle. You agree to stay in the target system for long enough to observe some of the drones fighting each other. Alrighty. Inventory. Park all. Don't need any of those here. You enter the target system and begin recording the communications of core Marathi drones. It may take a while to collect all the data, but all the data the wanderers need will set their equipment and notify you when it's done collecting. Let's try again. Down to communication recordings to the team sides and meet with Telek for a while to discuss the possible weaknesses of Marathi drones when in combat. Of course, he says, It'd be far better if we could subvert that hijack them rather than destroying them outright. Otherwise, a second drone faction variant will gain power without the Meridian drones to cull them and keep them in check. About an hour later, the scientists contact Telek. You return to their facility, and the lead scientist tells you it is as we suspected, such hypothesized. The Meridian drones function as components, such elements of a single unified collective intelligence, such gestalt consciousness. We will analyze slash deconstruct their protocols further to see if we can somehow infect slash corrupt their network. While you are waiting for them to come up with a plan, Telek suggests that you make a visit to Tassi Rek. See if she has made a progress in communicating with the Korath survivors. Perhaps they will be able to help the Wanderers think of a way to hack into the Meridian network and take control of the drones. Rex seems delighted to see you and is even more confident full of life than she was when you left. She introduced you to several of the Korath, speaking to them rapidly in their own language. Rex, how have you learned those things so fast? She says, it seems that the molt has has altered not only my vocal organs, but also my mind. Any language just feels clear and obvious to me now. It's strange, because the molt is a random mutation. Had no say in what I would become, yet it has given me the exact skills I need to create a partnership with Korath. Well, if it was really just a matter of chance you would turn in what you would turn into, I'm glad you formed so perfectly. Glad too, she says, it's strange. Years ago I thought that if I molted I would resent the loss of my old body and my old identity, yet I feel more at home in this new body than I ever did before. It's an unexpected gift, but now how can I help you? Tell about the scientists hoping to hack into the recording network and suggest ideas to Korath. Rek does her best to explain your suggestion to Korath. One of them responds to translate. She said there's a team of Korath engineers on Lucky Nemparo who have been working for 50 years to find a way to destroy the automata. She says perhaps they can assist us. You agree to travel with Rek to Lucky Nemparo and see what the engineers can tell you. Food, I guess. Rex helps you make contact with another team of Korath engineers, and Rex explains the Wanderer plan to hack into the core Meridian network. Her speech is slower than before. She has to keep asking questions. Clearly the conversation involves technical jargon she's not yet familiar with. When she's done explaining, the Korath are silent for a minute, then one of them answers quite loudly, almost shouting, gesturing in your direction, pushing you away. Rex says, he said, do you think we're idiots? Do you think we have not attempted that? The Korath leader follows up with another long statement that Rex hesitantly translates. The Meridian consciousness is impossible to subvert. It has a sort of immune system like a living creature. Any foreign influence that impinges on its network is sequestered and analyzed. It does not become a part of the gestalt unless it is proven to be beneficial. Those drones. Rick asks Korath a question and translates the response. They say that none of them know what is controlling the core sector, but whatever the control center is certainly tightly guarded. They have not been willing to risk their own lives to explore Cestor space, but you are free to do so if you think it would be beneficial. The conversation is interrupted as alarm sirens begin to sound throughout the spaceport. One of the Korath systems on the wreck. They'll begin running towards landing pads and other Cormorant attack. They become more frequent lately. You should join the defenders, fighting alongside them and gain their trust. I feared it was going to happen. Conversation. Probably the piece of information that's important. Finally back on the planet, Rek and several of the Korath meet your ship. Oleg thank you for assistance defending their home, says Rek, and apologizes for dismissing of the wandered plans to defeat the drones. They still think that hacking or corrupting the Moretti work is impossible, though. Where it came from? Rek asked a question, translates and answered. There was a civil war that lasted hundreds of years. The Cormorant and the Corcessor were the two rival empires. The Korath were those who sought to remain neutral and not join the fighting. She waits as the Korath continues story and says the Moretti and the Cestor each built drone fleets programmed to attack each other. They also made other weapons, very dangerous ones. Eventually, about a century ago, it became clear that the war would consume and destroy both empires if it continued. The Archons stepped in and gave a choice to each member of the Cormorant and Corcessor. The Korath continues the story, says the choice was to give up the jump drives and the advanced technologies of war and join the Kor Efret living under Korg's supervision, and he refused were exiled to the lifeless star systems near the core. Cestor and Moretti forced to live together in exile and to depend on each other, united by their anger towards Archons, who exiled them. They say they will not relieve the shame of their parents by describing their deeds, but the scars they left on their former planets and even entire star systems speak for themselves, as do the drone fleets who continue to drain their homes of resources to prosecute war that their creators have long since abandoned. Rek tells you that she wants to return to Setar Fort to continue her work with the Korath community there for their Talak. Save. After defending Loki Nemparu. Let's see. one thing the exiles were only to give up was the knowledge of how to create the jump drives so they could raid other nearby species, although supposedly one of the Korath systems, he says, the exiles would be far better off without them. The manufacturing process is precarious, and one wrong step can cause an explosion that destroys a ship or a station where the drives are being constructed. Rek tells you that she wants to return to Setar Fort to continue work with the Korath community there. You agree to take her there before returning to report to Telek. Drop off at Catastrophe Wreck on Setar Fort and wish you the best of luck and continue efforts to understand and befriend the Korath. So clearly eager to get back to work. Then you get ready to return to Sparrow Antitrust, so Barry Telek will not be happy to hear that the Korath engineers think there is no hope of compromising the Cormorant network. Luxury goods. All Biol, Spaceport, Job Board. Depart. Expect the Wanderers to be discouraged by the notice the Korath think that the Meridius cell constitutes too robust to be hacked into or compromised. When you arrive at the communications site, so excited about a breakthrough, they've managed to develop a program that makes one sample reasoning node you fetch for them follow orders that they give it. They ask you to bring the device to one of the Cormorant systems to test it out on the drones there. Meanwhile, you can't help but notice that Sabari Telek is showing the same thinning feathers and disheveled appearance that heralded the beginning of the mold for Ektarek. You're not sure responsible to say something, polite to say something or not. Please, so he says, my appetite / cleric intake has doubled in the past week. As you can see, I'm losing feathers. It is inconvenient / disruptive timing. I now understand why Rex sought the fight / postpone the mold rather than give in to it. You aren't sure what you can say would be helpful to him, so you return to your ship and prepare to travel to make his Slepty system to test out the core Meridian hacking program. Where we go? Alrighty. Hostile. So all. Parkle. To the Mechaslepty system, the entire fleet of drones moved to intercept you, hardly daring to hope. Press the button that activates the Wander program. For a fraction of a second, the drones' engines stop firing. They drift out of control. Then, with renewed purpose, they move to attack you. Well, it was worth a shot. The Wanderlings attempt to hack the core Mary Jones has failed. They seem uncertain what to do next. Some of them want to target the core Cestor instead, others want to give the scientists another shot. Tema Ikaret asks you, why do you think our attempted experiment failed? Rejected. She thinks about it for a moment and then says, Therefore, we say that each planet has a will/identity and it will never work to overrule/overpower the planet. Instead, we must collaborate/partner with it. Perhaps we can do the same with this consciousness. Stir of excitement passed through the Wanderers. Finally, this is a strategy that lines up with their preferred way of doing things. What do you mean? Asked one of them. Iriket says, we give them one of the artificial minds that we use for interplanetary oversight. Let it merge with, become part of it. The Meridi Gestalt calls not to destroy Sassuara, but to reach an understanding/partnership with it. Several of the Wanderers seem very agitated by this suggestion. Telek says, you would give them access to a technology/resource that would make them even more powerful/capable than before. So harm the Meridi might recognize that. With the Wanderers so hotly engaged in conversation that switched from the common language of the High back to their own native tongue. You have no idea what they're saying. Eventually the debate ends. Says, very well, we'll attempt this thing, not because it is the wise/certain course of action, but because it is in keeping with Wanderer values. As you travel back through the wormhole and visit the artificial intelligence lab on Korath Kehai. Let's see something. Same result. All right. Trading. $289. Buy all. I trust you're met by Wander. On Spare, and I trust you're met by Wanderer named Marteau Parat. Says I charge the artificial intelligence lab. Wants you to travel with you along the mine that's being entrusted to your care. We have already altered/reconfigured one of the climate simulation/prediction mines for this new purpose. It says now contains stores/database libraries of historical and cultural information. We hope will help the alien consciousness/intelligence to understand and sympathize with us. Realize our intentions are peaceful/forthright. Sure, that is why giving the core Meridi access to so much information about the Wanderers. It's certainly not wise, he says, but it is right/fitting. The artificial mind is turned out to be a computer not much larger than a typical cargo crate. Parrot walks beside it with one wing draped around it like an overprotective parent, while Wanderer workers load it onto your ship. Clearly, this is a particular piece of technology that's very valuable to the Wanderers. Which one? Luxury goods. Underground, the Wanderer's been conducting patrols of Cormoretti space. Telek tells you we have decided such that the mine is most likely to be accepted in Moretti. The Moretti Gestalt concept is physically located in their home/territory. Goal is installed within the hull/shell of one of their space stations. You will carry the team/strike force that does this, and our fleet will protect/shield you. It will take some time to make the necessary modifications of mine. In the meantime, Telek says you prepare for a major battle. When you are ready, so go to Vark, try and rendezvous with the fleet that will accompany you to the Moretti system. Yeah, let's just ping pong back and forth. B-32. Some of the ships will be coming again, and they've never been seen before. The Wanderer war machine can wrap up with remarkable speed. Sell all. Port, shipyard. It's still not available here. Alright. You meet with him, Man Repair tells you, I've added a backdoor/failsafe in the line so we can shut it down and regain control of it remotely if the temp/experiment fails. So we may lose the mine, but at least the Moretti will not turn/use it against us. Moretti network. It'll take some time for the mine to be accepted/integrated into their consciousness. We may not know immediately if we succeeded/done the right thing. A team of Wanderer engineers board your ship and prepare to deliver them along with the artificial mine to the Cormoretti space station and the Chimtarp system. Sorry. Okay, let's see. Let's unpark. Because they don't have jump traps, I need to go this way. Alrighty. They're hostile, so it doesn't matter. Soul mind, alrighty. again. Did I not land on the right place? Let's read this mission a little more carefully. Mine on the Korath station there. The Wanderer fleet keeping the Automata off your back. You carefully pilot your ship to an abandoned docking bay. Wanderer install the monitor niche near the back of the bay and begin welding sheets of metal over the opening to prevent Maraudi drones from gaining easy access to the monitor, shut it down, and destroy it. Meanwhile, every few seconds the bay is lit by bright flash of weapons, fire, exploding ships outside where the Wanderer fleet is managed to hold its own against drones. So the engineers are done. Return to your ship to take off as soon as you depart the bay doors, which seems inactive when you first slam shut. Your ship sensors detect Korath hull repair drones swarming all over the doors, welding them in place and piling new layers of hull material on top. There is no longer a pulse to return to the bay to retrieve the mine, and meanwhile it's time to rejoin the battle. Instead of attacking you, so hold them off as long as you can. Trying to stay on the good side of the drones that seem not to be defending you. still other civilizations. Dang it. So close. Also, hostile core Meridian drones are destroyed. The remaining drones are not attacking the Wanderers, but it's not entirely clear what happened. But hopefully, the Wanderers back on Spire check will get enough. They'll have gained enough information through the backdoor connection to their AI. Everybody survived? Yes. The Wanderers back in Korath ask and frenzies know the outcome of the battle. Parrot tells you less than a second after the mind made contact / murdered the Meridians, severed the backdoor / failsafe connect, so we have no information / visibility on what the mind is doing, whether Meridian received / welcomed it. Indeed, says Parrot, but whatever transformation has changed the mind reeks catalyzes may not be complete. It is too soon to trust that we have succeeded / chosen correctly. A few minutes later, Telek arrives with some scout ships from the Wanderer fleet. The drones have sealed up every entrance / ingress / station, he says. They are swarming / gathering around it protectively / jealously. There's no way we can return there to discover / assess what's happening inside, and there's also some activity / development on the planet's surface. Seems to be scavenging and hunting for resources to build something, he says. It's strange / surprising. The Meridian drones until now were ignoring the planets of their system / territory. Would you be willing / bold to land on your ship at the surface and investigate? Eager to do so. Wanderers wish you the best of luck and prepare you to return to the Chimitarp system. Hopefully the Meridian drones will not become hostile once more when you are landed on a planet that was exposed and relatively defenseless. Let's take that and see what happens. Coming for landing, you see the Korath drones, which up until now recently have been ignoring service plans they controlled, are now constructing some kind of facility on Korath. Unlike the fresh and spotless buildings, it's not until they're only a few dozen meters above it that you realize it's a greenhouse. Inside the facility, there are rows and rows of plants of all different shapes and sizes. Like the Meredi drones themselves, the layout of the facility is random and haphazard. Drones nearly the size of shellcraft buzz around it like bees. Some of them arriving with fresh samples, and others tending and watering the plants. A few drones approach the ship on lands, and one of them speaks in a booming, synthesized voice. "You are the human who helped us fight us resist the warlock high," it says. "You are our friend." "Do you mean that I helped the Wanderers? I don't recall unfeathered entering Korath space or attacking you." The drone hesitates for a moment as his community says, "You helped us hold back us resist the unfettered in our old territory for long enough that we could enter the eye and molt and take on our new form / essence. Saying you're the new form of the Wanderers." John repeats, "We entered the eye, we took on a new form. We are the children / offspring born to the Wanderers in their new place of sojourn wandering. While you're still trying to process the drone statement, another drone comes flying out of the greenhouse facility carrying a large square metal pot. The pot is filled with soil, and in the soil is planted a small, very dry-looking bush. A few dead leaves cling to it. "We broke it," says the drone. "Fix it, please." Find more closely. The plant is dry and brittle. It shows no signs of life. "I'm sorry to say, but I think it's dead." The drone says, "We gave it water, but maybe the dirt was poison / unhealthy, or the light was too bright. A human cannot fix it, but our parents / ancestors would know how. Will you bring it to them?" They seem too distraught about the dead plant to be willing to give you more information about themselves. Despite the absurdity of the situation, you agree to take the plant back to the Wanderers to see if they can do anything for it. There's real something interesting about wonderful psychology that when you return, they're more interested in poking and prodding the dead plant than hearing a report about the Meredi drones. Once they've set off a soil sample to be analyzed, you can achieve no more until the results come back to listen to your story. "Our goal is to communicate with them," says Telex, "not to destroy / erase their identity and replace it with our own. What have we done?" Meto Parrot has been listening quietly and finally speaks. "Identity is a story the mind tells us to explain / justify / give meaning to its existence," he says. "Perhaps our own intrusion / intervention in the Meredi had intelligence but no story, and thus no self-awareness / consciousness. Randomly created sentient species." President Kamali, as in response to Perez's comment, the Wanderers gain a renewed interest in the potted plant. "Very sturdy construction / joining," says one, running a towel along the corner of the pot. "Yes," says another, "but why make a flower pot out of metal? It will oxidize." "They learn / figure out that the pot needs drainage holes," says another. "Look at the bottom of the pot." "This is excellent work for such a young / immature species," says Tobari, Telek with a hint of pride. "I'm sorry to interrupt, but have you any thought of the implication of creating a new sentient species?" They're all silent for a moment. Paris says, "They will need mentors / teachers." Tamara Ikrat, the terraforming director, says, "I will ask Varkai to send a team of experts / professors immediately." "Captain G, can you journey there and escort them safely through the eye to Kobartieska?" "You really do so." The Wanderers switch their own language and begin an passionate conversation. They leave the room and head back to your ship. Where am I going? Alright, so wonder and terraformers and so on the requisition of transport filled with an overwhelming variety of sensors, bioreactors, chemical filters, and other scientific devices. But it's clear that no one in the Korath understands what's going on with the Korath. The team's manager says we are to meet with sentient SAS awakened robots. They are interested in foliage plants. There are worlds to be repaired/healed. Do your best to answer the questions, but it's clearly not a situation that any of them had anticipated, or perhaps not even a situation that a species has ever had to deal with before. Given that usually they are working on regions of space that have long since been abandoned by their former inhabitants, the freighter gets ready to follow you back to Korath. Hopefully more of their questions will be answered. Shipyard. You. Job board, no job still. Spaceport, nothing still. When we last left Spirit Antitrust, there were less than a dozen buildings and greenhouse facility. Now grown to the size of a major spaceport, including some towers that are dozens of stories high. Many plants now grow in open-air terraces, others are domed enclosures tall enough to house fully grown trees. Larger domes also have birds flying about inside them and some larger land animals as well. Everything built with gleaming steel and glass, filled with lush vegetation from high above facility that looks like a scattered handful of diamonds and emeralds. The freighter you were escorting was full of professors and researchers who are clearly not used to any sort of military discipline or living in dangerous regions of space. The moment the freighter lands, they fly off towards the greenhouse without bothering to wait for instructions from their supposed manager. Several of them are already engaged in conversation with the drones, while others are exploring the different rooms of the facility, examining plants and probing soil with their talons. The team's manager, already looking a bit overwhelmed, flies over to talk with you. What are we expected/requested to do next, he asks. Drones learn to take care of the plants in this region, make sure the drones are convinced that the wanderers are on their side. They see if the drones will sell technology if they have impressive weapons. Destroying plants living in a box made of metal is not the wander away. We seek to return worlds to their natural pristine state, not build our own monumental structures on them. Okay, let's see. Previous one. The mood among the Wanderers' leaders is much lighter now that the danger from the variety drones appears to have eliminated. In fact, they're now so intrigued by the emerging variety consciousness they don't seem to be thinking about the more distant threat of the drones in the core sensor space. Instead, they want to focus on their true calling, terraforming planets. Sabari Telek tells you we should take time to enjoy this peace/respite. We need not face/deal with the other drones immediately. We will be working to start a second settlement/base nearby. Visit us there when the base is formed, says Slavs, and we'll decide our next action steps. In the meantime, our latest ship of war/defense is now being produced on our major central worlds, and you may buy one. Well, I think that's a good place for me to call it for today. Let's see. Job board. Map. Restricted. Friendly. Alrighty. Well, I am going to call it there. Thank you all for joining me. I appreciate it. Curious to see what's next. See you all. You have a good one.